Good morning. The government unveils its so-called industrial strategy later today. I've come to a plastics manufacturer in Leicestershire to find out the sort of help they're hoping that'll include for energy costs, which they have seen soar in recent years.
GPs in England can now prescribe the weight loss drug Mounjaro to patients who meet strict criteria.
Let's have a look at today's newspapers, and there is, of course, one story dominating the front pages. The Guardian leads on Iran vowing to retaliate against the United States after it carried out what the paper calls the most consequential intervention in a conflict in a generation.
The Times has a similar headline this morning, along with satellite images of the Fordo nuclear facility in Iran, which was among those hit on Saturday night. The paper also reports on Tehran's parliament voting to block a vital oil shipping lane.
The Eye takes a different angle, reporting that President Trump has pushed the Middle East to the brink. The image shows a briefing at the Pentagon, which has a timeline of the attack that was presented to the reporters in the room.
And the Daily Express turns its attention to the UK. It focuses on the Prime Minister's warning of a risk of escalation.
CCTV showing dangerous incidents involving buggies on train platforms have been released to encourage the public to be more careful. Well, this incident took place at Gatwick Airport Station. Govia Thameslink warned passengers to take care when getting off the train and to keep hold of pushchairs at all times. Luckily, this incident and the incident you're about to see here neither resulted in any major injuries.
Tonight at 6, reports that Iran has just launched retaliatory strikes on a US airbase in Qatar. These pictures have just come in the last few minutes of interceptors over Qatar. The Al Udeid airbase is said to be in a state of high readiness after Iran vowed revenge following US airstrikes on its main nuclear sites. The damage from attacks on Iran's nuclear site is evident. We assess what we do and don't know about what's happened to its stockpiles of enriched uranium. The first RAF flight evacuating British nationals and their dependents left Israel today. The Foreign Secretary said the safety of Britons was the government's top priority. Also tonight, GPs in England can now prescribe the weight loss jab Mounjaro on the NHS, but only for some patients. The killer whales who look after each other's skin with a good massage.
Calling for tighter regulation of dockless e-bikes. Celebrity chef Aldo Zilli tells us how his 84-year-old mother-in-law suffered life-changing injuries after a cyclist ran a red light.
I feel like I've lost half of her through someone that is irresponsible riding a bike in London, basically. And that's why I'm upset, and I want to take it forward. I want to take it further, to be honest.
Also on the programme. A call to freeze the fees, please. Parents in Hackney protest against council plans to withdraw subsidised childcare. Plus,
more than 1,000 school children from around the country have descended upon this iconic London cricket pitch to try and beat a world record. Will they do it? Find out later.
feeling lonely, we bring you the story of the Hertfordshire owl who keeps calling for a mate.
Now, just before we go, I want to mention this. An 18th century violin worth more than £150,000 has been stolen from a pub in Islington. The police are appealing for help to trace the suspect. The instrument belongs to a member of London's Philharmonia Orchestra and was made in Florence in 1740. Well, police have released this CCTV picture and want to know if anyone recognises the person seen outside the pub, and if so, to get in touch.
We start tonight with a family now calling for tighter regulation of dockless e-bikes. Celebrity chef Aldo Zilli shared how his 84-year-old mother-in-law suffered life-changing injuries after an e-bike collision. A cyclist ran a red light when she was crossing the road in Lewisham. The family has been speaking for the first time since it happened to our reporter Anna O'Neill.
For 84-year-old Maureen Welsh, life has changed completely since October last year when she was knocked down by someone on a Lime bike in Lewisham.
I was going to aqua aerobics and meet some friends and that. Then we'd generally go for a bit of lunch after.
Previously fit and active, Maureen's life is now mainly confined to home, which has been specially adapted for the now disabled pensioner.
I got off the bus, I walked a few yards, and the lights was red, and obviously the traffic stopped. I managed to walk a few steps, and all of a sudden this bike come in between the buses and went straight into me and knocked me over.
Maureen suffered a broken leg which required surgery and 5 weeks in hospital. Her daughter is struggling to come to terms with what has happened.
The fact that she was safe to cross that road and this happened is unacceptable.
You like the tea? This is my first cup of tea I've ever made.
Her son-in-law is the celebrity chef Aldo Zilli, who used to take Maureen to Italy every year. For now, that's out of the question.
Maureen, my mother-in-law, I feel like I've lost half of her through someone that is irresponsible riding a bike in London, basically, and that's why I'm upset, and I want to take it forward. I want to take it further, to be honest.
What does taking it further look like then, Aldo, for you?
Well, I want to go and meet the mayor.
But the Mayor of London doesn't currently have responsibility for dockless e-bikes. A spokesperson told us,
the government have announced plans to provide cities with the powers to manage dockless e-bikes, and improved safety should be at the centre of better regulation in the future.
the responsibility for dockless e-bikes lies with the Department for Transport, which told us dangerous cycling is completely unacceptable and a key priority for this government.
That's why the government is proposing new offences and penalties for dangerous cycling, updating legislation that's over 160 years old to ensure that the tiny minority who recklessly disregard others face the full force of the law.
A spokesperson for Lime said it takes incidents of this nature very seriously and is deeply shocked and saddened by what has happened.
And Anna joins me now. Hi there. Incidents like this with e-bikes are increasing. What recourse do victims have when something goes wrong?
Well, in Maureen's case, even though everything was captured on CCTV by the bus that she'd just been travelling on, the perpetrator made off, and the Met Police haven't been able to trace them, because they haven't been able to successfully manage to get in touch with the right department at Lime. So any potential criminal case has been closed. Lime told us the Met hadn't used the correct secure portal to report the incident. So you can see if it's difficult for them to get in touch with each other, how difficult it might be for the ordinary person. But in terms of compensation for injuries, pedestrians who are hit by an e-bike like Maureen, or cyclists who have an incident with a bike, perhaps are then involved in a crash themselves, they have quite a lot of protection under the law. Osborne Solicitors in Camden has seen personal injury cases rise exponentially in the last 6 months.
The key thing to do, I think, is to report the case to Lime, and you can then still make a claim against Lime's insurance policy. We've had a number of cases like that where we've been successful, and Lime's insurance policy will still deal with that claim, and you're able to claim compensation for personal injury and other losses as you ordinarily would be able to if you were hit by a car.
And just to say, the Zilli family are not the only celebrities who are having bike trouble at the moment. 92-year-old actress Joan Collins posted a photo on social media this weekend trying to navigate through a pavement full of Lime bikes in London with the hashtag "Pavements are for pedestrians." It's been liked more than 6,000 times, Riz. So I have a feeling we'll be hearing more of these sorts of stories.
And I have a feeling she's not alone in that thinking. Thank you very much for now, Anna O'Neill.